What is up, people? Nico Games here, and welcome back to Amorous. Now, the first episode has yet to upload, but, if you didn't see the first episode, or, what am I saying, it hasn't even uploaded yet. This is a game about furries, as you can clearly see. So, in the first episode, our brother Kobe here, this one, he brought us to Club Amorous, and we talked to a cat named Seth, who was adorably cute, and we are gonna talk to Kobe now. Actually, no. Let's see. Who else can we talk to? We can talk to the bar. We can talk to them. There's someone out here. Bartender. Okay. Party's in there, buddy. There's tweens I gotta deal with. Didn't I card you already? Get in, or get to the back of the line. If you lost something, ask at the bar. Does it look like I got time to track everyone's sweet rolls? Wow. Not interested, never will be. Go shake it at someone who's not working, kiddo. Oh hey, I've had a change of thought. You bugged me enough to give you my special number. It's 911. Want to dial it before or after I kick your ass out for bothering me? Alright, we'll do it again. If that was you who threw those water balloons from the pool, you're gonna be in so much trouble. I used to be adventurous like you. Then I got off the video games and got a real job. Ouch. Okay, yeah, I can't talk to him anymore. Let's talk to him. Haha! My hand barely touches the counter before the bartender is right in front of me. From here I can see that his uniform, well, dapper, is clearly tailored for the club. His sleeveless vest and cuffed wrists are capped with revealing tuxedo-style brief as well. Yeah, despite his state of near undress, he seemed quite chipper, and wipes down the counter in front of me with a rack. Welcome to Amorous, the hottest club in town. I'm Jax, and I'll be your beverage artisan this evening. He winks at me before continuing. What can I do for you? I'd like to order, I'd like to, no, you know, we'll walk away. Never mind. Thanks. Okay, we're just gonna talk to Kobe and get out of here. Pretty much everyone loves the coast. Clear blue skies above the crystal waters of the shoreline. What's not to like, right? That's my town in a nutshell. Wait, we already read this. Wait, what's going on? Wait. What the heck? Alright, I'm gonna pause here and see why we skipped. So, I'll be back when I get back to where we were. So, see ya! Okay, we are back in the club. I'm not sure what happened, but now Seth isn't here. So, we still have that going for us, which is good. So, we can still talk to people, but we're just gonna talk to Kobe. Hey, bro. Can I borrow you for a second? Okay, what's up? Can I hang out with you? Any advice? Met anyone yet? How's the manhunt going? Still working up the courage to ask someone out. It can be hard to tell if they're looking at you or the girls behind you. People here are a bit more open, but still don't want to misread the signals, you know? I do. I can see about 10 guys that are likely interested from just here. Can we head home? I think I've just about had all the fun I can have here. You mind if we head home? You sure you want to go? I normally go all night, but I'm happy to go whenever you are. You just let me know when you're sure. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, it's late. I wouldn't mind calling it a night. Fair enough. I appreciate you coming tonight. You'll have to tell me about how it went on the way home. It's rowdy in here. It was refreshing to step outside. The bouncer gave us a gentle wave, Sharpie in hand as he addressed the something. I didn't get to read that. I felt a little bad for pressuring Kobe to leave earlier than he usually would have, but he was all smiles. He was just happy that I came, I suppose. He insisted on driving. Drinking apparently put him off his game. After all the excitement, I barely recall what we talked about on the way home. It just flew by. It's funny. The trip to the club felt like a lifetime. I guess I was more nervous than I should have been. Best not to overthink it. We passed out quickly when we got home, still riding the high of the evening. Okay. Ugh. First time I've slept in late for reasons other than being a loafer. Seems like Kobe is already up. Either that or he just dropped me off and went back clubbing. The whole thing still feels kind of surreal. I should check my phone to see if I ended up getting any new contacts, or if it was just one of those weird dreams. Oh. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's not what I want. That young feline writer seems interesting. He said he'd be heading to the library today. Maybe I can still catch him. Ring, rit, click. Hello? Hi, it's Samuel from Amorous. You mentioned I should give you a call today, and since I just rolled out of bed, I figured now was a good time as any. Samuel? Oh, right, the interviewee. I'm glad to hear you called back. Whoop! Okay, I'm okay. I was just on my way out to the library now. It's a great day for a stroll. Oh, jipes! A loud thud on the other end of the phone was followed by some muttering and grunting. Apparently, I distracted him in the middle of something. Alexa, stop. Was this a bad time to call? It seemed like you're having some difficulties there. No, I just had a few books I'd been meaning to return before they came overdue. Though sometimes I think the only reason the library stays open is because of the fees I wind up paying. Ha ha! I take it you're a fairly avid reader as well? Definitely. One can't expand one's horizons enough. I'm just about to head inside. Do you want to drop by and meet me in the lobby? Oh, excuse me. Sure. Let me just get reasonably decent and I'll pop right over. Oh, and you never told me when the reading was. I hope we didn't miss it. Reading? Oh no. What time is it? Glancing at the clock, I saw it was a little after 10. After I mentioned it to Seth, he seemed to calm down. Phew! Sorry about that. I get a little too deep into my own head sometimes. The reading is at noon in the community room. We've got plenty of time. Good. Well, I've got nothing planned this morning, so I'll just drop by since you'll already be there. We said our goodbyes, as I tried not to flinch every time I heard another book drop on the other end, and I hopped out of bed to get dressed. Despite not needing to rush, I did feel a little concerned about making him wait. I scooped up some clean clothes and got myself as close to presentable as possible. Kobe was stumbling around the kitchen, bleary-eyed and in nothing but his underwear, as I was heading towards the door. And where are you off to in a rush? Just meeting someone. Found an interesting guy at the club last night, and he invited me to an event. Ooh, first date, huh? Don't get started, little bro. I heard everything that happened last night when you and your friends got back here. Okay. Have fun, but I expect a full report. I promise. We'll dish all about him later. Later's good. Right now I need coffee and a shower. Kobe followed his beak back into the kitchen as I made my way up to the front door. I honestly hadn't been to the public library in ages. Between work and Kobe's nightlife, I'd been too occupied to think about culture. Probably why I was curious about this feline. Not that my friends were dim, far from it, but they were more passionate about surfing, tanning, and chasing tail than discovering the latest something literature. Last night was all about trying new things, so I figured this was another tick mark off my newest bucket list. His adorably nerdy look may have also had some influence on my choice. He was pretty adorable. True to his word, Seth had found us a couple of seats close enough to enjoy the reader, but not in immediate view. Everyone else was getting settled in, so I managed to make it to my seat with a minimum of fuss. Seth beamed at me before turning his attention back to the front of the room. Nick Kovac. The dew had settled on the lawn just outside the front door, glistening in the last few rays of moonlight before the sun crested the horizon. I didn't know what was being read or who the author was. The placard just outside the room had a few bits of information on it, but nothing that rang a bell. Seth chuckled quietly, likely due to my confused expression. His name is Nick Kovac. He's one of my favorites for a light read. Blood was the color of the clouds, and the same unwashed crimson spilled in rivulets across the floor before him. It was a body emptied of life, and a life empty of meaning. Light read? What definition of the word light are you using? It's genre fiction. Murder mystery with a little thriller thrown in for spice. He's got a way with words that really captures the imagination. The sounds of boots, rattling the windows and shaking the shutters, pulled him from his reverie. Too soon they would be upon him, and thereafter he would join the woman he discovered upon the paving stock? I didn't read that. It's certainly hard to not form a mental image. You've read a few of his books? All 14 in his current series. I found him midway through the second, so I got some insights I shouldn't have into the first. It ruined the mystique for me, and I haven't been able to bring myself to try reading them. 14. How many has he written in total? Oh, about 28 or so. He's prolific, sure, but that's why he does so well. Two staccato shots rung out across the barren fields, and the pang of heat and pain radiated from his shoulder. He held secrets best left unspoken, and his pursuer meant to silence him forever. You said you were doing some research for your own story. How far along is that one? Even in the dim light, I could see a frown creasing the corners of his mouth. He sunk back into his chair for a moment before whispering his response. Honestly, not as well as I had hoped. Writing is a very, very private vocation, but that makes it even harder as you stare at an empty room and a blank page. I admit, I am here in part to hopefully absorb some of his ambient genius in the hopes of inspiring myself to put pen to paper. So, just like at the club, you're trying to gain inspiration through osmosis? Somehow, you make it sound more desperate than I intended. I don't mean to. Why don't I help? Why don't I help? If you're looking for a sounding board or just some input, I'd be more than happy to help you out with that. Really? I mean, really? His eyes were wide with what I could only assume was excitement as I nodded. He was cute, intelligent, and interesting. Why not take some time to help him out? Maybe he'd even put me in the foreword. This is fantastic! Why don't we grab some lunch after this? My treat. It'll give us some time to chat above a whisper. Sounds good. I haven't had a chance to grab anything before I headed out the door. I didn't. His grin was infectious, and I couldn't help but smile before he turned back and settled into his seat. He was really excited about the prospect. Who knew it would be that easy to get a lunch out of him? Far worse than the iron bars and rain sickened concrete of the cell was the knowledge that escape would be impossible. Beyond those walls, he was a hunted man, and only within their icy embrace could he hope to live another day. Seth nudged me as applause rolled through the room. I guess I hadn't been paying as much attention as I thought. The two of us made our way through the crowds and back out to the lobby. It was there that I noticed a small wooden table with a pile of books on it, and the author's picture was on a stand. Seth was busy chatting with some of the other attendees, so I found a place to sit down nearby. When he finally stepped away, he made a beeline for me. All right, there's a nice little coffee shop down the road. I've got a couple of books to grab before we go, so I can meet you there, or you can wait for me. Apparently, Seth hadn't noticed the signing table or the author heading in that direction. He did mention enjoying his books. Why don't I just wait and I'll see you back here in a sec. Excellent. I'll just be a moment. Seth wandered off to the circulation desk while I maneuvered to the table. Thanks for coming. It's always nice to see a good turnout. You're welcome. First time I've been to a reading. I don't get as much as I should. Then double thanks. It can be hard to compete with everything else out there to do. What can I do for you? My friend is a big fan of yours. Could I get a signed copy of your latest book for him? Sure. It's part of the reason I'm here. Did you have something in mind for me to write? Something encouraging. He's an aspiring author himself. Could you put in some words of encouragement? Of course. Just tell him to not steal my audience. I have to eat too. He chuckled and jotted down a few inspirational words before signing his name with a flourish. After I paid, I slid the book into my coat to keep it out of sight for a surprise. Thanks again for coming. I've got another reading later on in the month. I hope to see you and your friend there. I'll mention it to him. Thanks again. Back. Hopefully I didn't keep you waiting too long. Not at all. Shall we get going? Seth nodded, and the two of us ducked out of the front door and into the street. I had to juggle the book a little to keep it a secret, but Seth was so engrossed in talking about the reading, it wasn't too difficult. The coffee shop was a nice little place, cozy and inviting. We settled into a table after grabbing a coffee each and a scone. Ooh, scones. I barely had time to take the first bite when Seth produced a number of notebooks. My writing's a little scattered. I tend to just grab what I have handy to jot my thoughts down. What are you trying to write? I need to finish my coffee first. What are you trying to write? Sorry, hiccups. Well, seems to me the first thing to do would be get organized. You've got a bunch of bits and pieces, but have you considered what you want to do with them? I was thinking of maybe something involving the main, but I could also bring in a... That sounds like a no. I just don't quite have my thoughts together. It's not as simple as that, you know? There has to be some... Seth, no is okay. No doesn't mean there isn't something to work with. It just means you don't yet have a direction. Wasn't that the reason you wanted to do this? You're right. Sorry. It's easy to get lost in my head, I suppose. Writing seems to be a really important thing for you. What got you started? Reading, mostly. I've always been a little bookish and, well, I enjoyed so much of my time in other people's worlds that I wanted to make some of my own. I assume you aren't just a writer since you're still working on a book. What else do you do with your time? I'm not terribly fond of talking about it, just because it's embarrassing. Well, now you have to tell me. I'm a trust fund kid. My parents have been fairly well off financially, and they set aside a sizable sum for me. That would explain why you're able to live in town. I was sort of brought along to the city with a remarriage when I was younger, and I've also been pretty fortunate in that regard. Not to be too forward, but you don't seem terribly happy being idle. My work had eaten up quite a bit of my free time, so when the obligation vanished, I just felt kinda lost. I'm glad my little brother got me out of the house, at least. He sounds like an equally interesting person, in a different way, I suppose. He's a character, but I love him. We went on for a bit longer, chatting about this or that, until my coffee was gone and we turned our attention to the pile of notes Seth had brought. I've got an idea. You're right in that I need to spend a little too much time. You're right in that I spend a little too much time in my own head. Maybe what I need is some structure. Sounds good. What did you have in mind then? Since I can't seem to settle on something, why don't you tell me what I should write? Really? With all your talk of muses and inspiration, I think of it as an exercise. You'll give me a framework to build from, and I write the story. It'll give me a focus and keep me from wandering. Alright, I suppose that makes some sense. Why me, though? Because then, we will both have some investment in the final piece. That will make it all the more likely you'll keep humoring me. Fair enough. Where should we start? At the beginning. What kind of genre should I write? Sci-fi fan. We are going for a romance. What about a romance novel? I know they can be cheesy, but maybe something with a little drama and action thrown in. Oh, romance? I mean, I'm not really... I suppose I can give it a shot. Okay, how do you see the main character? Is there some defining feature you like? Heroic, deeply flawed, regular person. Deeply flawed. I like the complex, multifaceted characters. People who mess up but have to keep going. Something about the struggle to just get by really resonates with me. My favorite kind. Nothing like being able to explore shortcomings through that lens. Having someone for whom there are only gray options, no black or white. I'm getting some great ideas here. I told you that you'd make an excellent muse. Glad I can help. That said, I've got a question for you this time. Oh? Suddenly the interviewer becomes the interviewee? My, how the tables have turned. It's quite the plot twist. Anyway, I was wondering, what do you plan on doing with the story after you're done? I hadn't really considered it. It's probably something I shouldn't even worry about until it's written. I think you should keep it in mind. Ponder it. Also, think about what you should keep. I also think that you should keep those notebooks away. Let the story build itself. You'll be less inclined to overwhelm yourself. Fair enough. But I reserve the right to call you the instant it's done. I need your eyes on it as soon as it's out of the printer. It's a deal. Looking at the clock, I noticed we'd already spent quite a while chatting back and forth. Despite not having a set schedule of my own, I figured Seth may have had other places to go. Well, it's afternoon already, and I don't want to keep you. I mean, if you're busy. I should get to it. The fresher the ideas are in my head, the more likely I'll be able to actually keep with it. He smiled up at me for a moment before we both Okay. That was written weird. Samuel, thanks again for this. It's the most motivated I've been in quite a while, and it was good to spend time with you. Same here. You're a very interesting person to be around, Seth. It's a nice change of pace. Only interesting? So, do we say no, it was not only interesting? I didn't mean... Not at all. You are also extremely adorable and sweet. Sweet when you aren't wrapped up in your own thoughts. I'll still take the compliment. Thanks. You've got my number, right? Give me a call if you have any questions, or if you'd just like to chat. I think so? You called me, right? Let me just write it down so you don't lose it. I scribbled it down for him, and he put it into his pocket, smiling happily at the offer as he checked his notebook was secure one last time. I will make ample, but hopefully not too burdensome, use of your opinion, Samuel. Thank you. Oh, I almost forgot. I got this for you. I know how you like that author, and I thought it would be a nice gift. When I handed him the novel, his eyes went wide. A smile spread across his face in an instant, and he looked back up at me, beaming. You got me a signed copy? I didn't even realize he was doing signings. Samuel, this is the best thing I've ever gotten. Before I could react, he leapt up against me, wrapping his arms around me and pressing his lips to mine. We both began to blush after the excitement of exhilaration began to fade. He quickly pulled away and glanced down at the floor. Sorry, I didn't mean... Oh my god! Okay, so, Seth just kissed us. Oh my god. Okay, do we kiss him on the cheek, kiss him on the lips, or forgive him? Yo, we're gonna be bold. Oh please, don't be sorry. I stepped forward and pressed my lips gently against his, giving his cheeks a soft stroke before pulling away. A barely audible purr rumbled up from his chest before he turned his head to cough and regained his composure. I'll have to remember to not let you go so soon next time. Well, I need to get going. Got to keep the story fresh. We said our goodbyes, parting after a final lingering hug. As I watched him leave, I felt a sense of happiness I hadn't experienced in the past few weeks. Writing was a very important thing to him, and in the span of a cup of coffee and a cake, he wanted me to be a part of that. Oh my god, that was so adorable! I hadn't been that important of a person to anyone but Kobe recently. Work had kept me busy, but without that, I'd begun to realize that I wanted something more. Maybe this could be that something. Just need to be ready with some juicy gossip when I get home, or Kobe will never stop pestering me. Okay. That was absolutely gosh dang adorable. I'm gonna leave this episode here. And hopefully you like this series. Hopefully you want to keep seeing more, because honestly, I'm loving this game. I really am, even if it's a game about furries. Which, I have nothing wrong with furries. Like, if you're a furry, then I have absolutely nothing wrong with it. You know, you do you. But I am having so much fun with this game. Even if we did have a little trouble at the beginning. I don't know what happened. But, yeah. Okay, okay. So, I'm gonna leave Amorous here. If you want to see more, then please comment down below on whether you want to see more, whether you like this game or not, or on games you want me to play, and I will happily check that out. So, you know, this is gonna be it. Like the video, comment down below, hit that bell for when I just had a stroke. Hit the bell to stay notified for when I upload, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Goodbye.